Hey everybody, Andrew here from Pacific Coast Auto, taking a look at the results of last week's auction picks. Up first, the thumbnail. The Silvia S15 was unsold. It only got bid up to $49.10, and it's probably worth more than that. The Porsche Cayman GT4 was also unsold. It got bid all the way up to $89,520, but that still wasn't enough. Number 3 is another unsold car, the Nissan Fairlady Z Nismo Edition. That one went up to $33,460, still not enough for the seller to let it go. The Subaru Legacy Wagon did sell, and it went for just $610. The Mitsubishi Legnum VR4 also sold. This one went for just $470. The Chevy Monte Carlo went for way over Derek's guess. That one sold for $5,390. The 2004 Subaru R2 also sold. That one went for $290. And the 1970 Subaru R2 also sold for much more than that. That one went for $2,320. Derek was right about not being able to guess bus prices. The Mitsubishi Fuso Rosa bus sold, and it went for $10,610. The third wagon of the week was not as lucky as the other two. The BMW 3 Series Touring was unsold and only got bid up to $680. That's going to do it for last week's picks. Now here's Derek with this week's.
Okay guys, it's time for the video again, and last week you guys heard me complaining about being sick, and guess what is worse this week? It's a super bad headache and funny snivelly nose, and so I'm going to sound a little bit nasally. If you can get past that, then stick with the video. We got 8 picks from you guys from Facebook, and we're going to go through the auction picks this week, and so let's have a look here. And it's something that I got to say first off, this first one from Sean William Bellamy. He sent this one in, and he says, unfortunately, this will be the last time I contribute to these videos. And we're all shedding a tear right now here in the office. I've become so busy with other things that I won't be able to do it anymore. I love these videos and hope you will continue to do them for a long time, Derek. As a last request, I would like you to please feature this car, as it's one of my favorite Japanese cars ever made, although it doesn't quite meet the date requirement. Thanks and happy motoring. And so that's right. Take a look at this one. It is October 4th here in Japan, and right now is October 4th in Japan. So this one is going through auction today. We don't actually have the final price on here, and so we're not able to cheat on this one. And then this is what was also sent in by Grant Glaze as well. So Sean, we featured you in the thumbnail specifically. We put this car in, and then that little picture that we put on there is actually ripped off of Sean William Bellamy's Facebook. We went and targeted you, kind of like employers do when they want to see if somebody is suitable to hire. They're going to go into your Facebook and snoop around, and so much snooping happened, and we found the best picture we could of you and put it onto the thumbnail. And so now you are internet famous. And if for some reason you don't like being internet famous, please let us know, and then we'll put like a happy face on top of your face on there, and then you can be less famous that way, which is what some people like. And so anyways, this is a NA1 Honda NSX Type R. And so the Type R, a lot of people know about the Civic Type R and the Integra Type R and the Accord Euro R, but they think that the NSX R is kind of the same thing, you know, a slightly bumped up or maybe significantly bumped up version, but actually the NSX Type R is super duper rare, and they very rarely ever come up for sale, whereas you can get a Type R of any of those other cars very easily, and they come up multiple times a day. These ones come up maybe every 6 months or so at auction, maybe every year or so, it really depends. But definitely not that often, and certainly not with really low mileage like this one. Look at this, 12,602 kilometers. And so this is a super chance to get an amazing car that you probably can't ever find again unless the person who buys this puts it back at auction sometime later. And so it's a 1995 NSX-R. It says 3.0 Type R on it. It's still a 3000cc, but it's a lightweight version with more aggressive suspension tuning. It's an auction grade 4.5, interior A and exterior A. It still has current registration. You can see there's plates on it. Registered in Chiba, and interestingly, it has the old style plates, and so this vehicle's been registered for more than 20 years with the same registration, i.e. the same owner, most likely. In fact, it says right here in the auction sheet, it's a one-owner car. It's the 412th one, first time at auction. It says it comes with a dealer's maintenance notes, various sheets, red leather seats. These are different seats in the Type R than you get in the standard NSX. It's like a full bucket seat there. Okay, it says Bose on it, referring to the audio toll collection box. All of these numbers here are where there's a maintenance or an inspection sheet, so you can see it has a full, nice, clean history of it. And of course, if you did buy the car from us, which would make my head explode in excitement, then we would be able to translate those for you for an extra fee. Typically, we don't do that, but for such, I mean, we can, but customers don't ask for it that often. But for such a vehicle as this, you would want to get it translated, I would think. And all the maintenance was done at the dealer. Comes with the owner's manual, spare key, and it comes with a catalog, it says. So as far as condition goes, it has it's slightly dirty interior, shallow scratches on the body. Headliner has a small part where it comes up or comes down, like deformation in the headliner. Looks like the body is completely clean. The starting price is 9 million yen. Prices for these are hard to guess because we don't have a history to look at. History only goes back 3 months. And I think there was one recently that went through, but USS Auctions is where I think that one sold, and they don't have the history anymore that is up in the system to easily browse through. Anyways, let's see. These wheels, is that right? Those are the Type R wheels, I guess. Okay, so price, I would say we're probably looking at 18 million yen is going to be my guess on this one. Look at that. Ding dong. And I guess that's what the interior looks like. Is that an aftermarket steering wheel? Kind of weird to do that. Or is that an original Honda Momo steering wheel? That's probably the case. It looks like the dashboard gets wrapped in Alcantara. That's cool. Okay, and so on to the next one. Sean, thank you for your support. Looks like Bill Courtney won, and so that's too bad for you, but good for Bill. Next one comes from somebody new, Jose Oval. Is that somebody new? I think so. Jose actually has two picks. Yeah. Andrew picked them this time, not me, because I was out. Actually, this is kind of funny. I had to run out to the port immediately because one of the cars that we had, and maybe some of you guys saw this on the channel, but we had a camper, a Townace camper that had a bike on the back that was locked on with a bike lock, and so I had to run down to the port today, buy some bolt cutters, and then cut that bike off and put it in the back of the BB and drive it back here. And so it was kind of an emergency trip, and so I missed picking these, and that's hence why this video is a little bit later than it usually is. Okay, on to Jose's pick here. And so, to be completely honest with you, I picked the first 4 and then had to go immediately, and so Andrew picked the last 4. And so this one was one of my picks. And this is an RS4. I love the RS4s. I haven't seen too many of these ones because this is the most current version. And they're not that common of cars. Usually people who are looking for the high performance German cars, they go to AMGs or BMW M cars more than the Audi RS versions of the cars. But I have to say, the first time that I saw one of these, it was parked next to me at a light, and I love the box fenders because manufacturers haven't been doing the box fenders or box flares for a very long time, and I'm an 80s kid and I love the boxy fender flares. I don't know. I'm stumbling over my words, but I think it's really cool looking. Front bumper, I think it's okay. Lots of holes here, but you know, if they're functional, that's cool. And just Audis have good design in their cars. It is a lot bigger than, you know, the original RS2 or even the first generation RS4, but still a cool car nonetheless. This is a 2013 October, and so model year would be a 2014 model, which I believe was the first year of these. Audi RS4 Avante. It says it's base grade, auction grade 4.5, and interior B, 56,120 kilometers, which is pretty high for Japan, but the car still has a lot of good life left in it. It's an original Japan car, 20-inch wheels, purchased from user, seat heaters, books, spare key, and then notice here the report section doesn't really say anything in it, just has some circles here. And so it's small scratches, small dents, wheel scratches, door mirror scratches, interior dirty and wear, and windshield rock chip. Otherwise, no notes on there. And the reason why they have these ones as the circle style is so that it's fast for the inspectors, because these are the ones that almost every single car has, or the very common problems with the car. And so just easy to circle, 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 and go. Okay, as far as price, if I had time, I would have checked to see how much these are worth, but I didn't. And so I'm going to guess that this one could probably be had for about 5.5 million. So we're going to guess that one. On to the next one from Ryan DeClue. Ryan is our past customer, and he sent in this one. And the first time that I saw this, I was like, Delica, yawn, because we've sold so many of these. Not so many in the last few years, but about three to 7 years ago, we were selling these, like 5 to 10 of them per month. These days it slowed down a little bit, and we're selling more to the US than we are to Canada. But we are selling a lot of L300 Delicas now to the US, which is the generation before this one. This one is the L400. These ones started in 1994, and so they're still 2 years off from being legal to import into the US. And at first in Canada, a lot of people didn't like the styling of these compared to the L300. The L300 looks like a total 80s, super amazing Star Wagon. And this one kind of looks like an egg, and it's called the Space Gear. Still a cool name, but this one is a better vehicle, much more refined. I feel like I need to blow my nose. Oh, I'm not going to do that on the video. I'm just going to be congested instead. And it's more comfortable to drive. It has a 2.8 liter turbo diesel 4-wheel drive, and super reliable. Lots of space inside. Can come with captain's chairs, or it can come with bench seats, depending on the option that you pick. It has these cool dials to show you how high above sea level you are, and how far you're tilting over to the side, which is very cool. Automatic AC, dual zone front and rear. This one has aftermarket wheels on it. This bush bar on the front is stock for the car. It says Chamonix because this is the Chamonix version. And then the fog lights on here are original for this version of the car. And then it's intercooler turbo diesel. Okay, 175, 365 is a little bit higher mileage. This is an automatic transmission, and I think these ones may only be automatic, but you might be able to get a manual of these. I can't seem to remember off the top of my head. Space Gear Chamonix. Auction grade 3.5 with an interior B. And purchased from user, aftermarket 16-inch wheels, bumper guard with 2 exclamation points on it. The report says, general stuff here, underside surface rust and corrosion. And compared to the L300, the 400s are more prone to rust. And it's, at the moment, it's like 70% of them have corrosion on the underside. You can still get clean ones because there are lots of them on the market, but it is something you want to watch out for this vehicle. Okay, dashboard has screw holes in it, headliner is dirty, and exterior has some stickers taken off. So usually the Chamonix has big, right from this door all the way back, has big Chamonix decal on both sides. So it has the stickers taken off. It says some, just that. Various scratches, dents. Body doesn't look that bad with a couple of things. Some uneven paint here, a medium dent here, and some uneven paint here. And so the diesels sell for a lot more than the gasoline model sells for. And I think the gasoline one is a really good value because you can get the gasoline ones for anywhere from 100,000 to 300,000 yen, depending on the condition. Diesels are usually in the range of about 400,000 yen to just over 1 million yen. So a big jump for the diesel. These are aftermarket taillights, by the way. This one, 175, 365, but otherwise good condition. I would say you're probably looking at about 550,000 yen for this one. Okay, on to the next one here from Brandon Decker. Brandon sent us one of my favorite K cars. In fact, I like this. I might like this better than all of the K cars, actually. I really like the Cappuccino and the Beat because they're funny. The AZ1 is a little bit neat and definitely unique. But as far as a car that's easy to have as a daily, I think this one's probably the best. You can get them in front-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. They're light. They come with one of the best K engines ever. They're really easy to get in and out of, which is one of the reasons why I don't like the Cappuccino and the Beat and the AZ1, because they're sports cars and they're very tight and very small and tall sills to get over and sunken down seats. These ones are just much easier. They're like a first-generation Golf. Just simple. You don't have to go Oh, I don't want to get into my car. The small doors and the high sills make it difficult for those little K cars. But this one's great. And I particularly like the front wheel drive one because you get a lighter vehicle. Okay, so 1998 Alto Works Suzuki Sports Limited Turbo, it's called. 171, 828 kilometers is pretty high. 5-speed manual. Auction grade 3 with an interior D and exterior C. Bride semi-bucket seat. Apex exhaust. They call it Apex exhaust. It's really Apex I is the company. Auto gauge, boost gauge on it. Timing belt has been replaced. Let's see. AC belt is missing. Engine puffs white smoke. Underside surface rust and corrosion. Oil leak. Core support dented. U3 in the back. A3 cracked pieces in the front. It looks like it's in pretty rough shape, and because of the white smoke coming out of the back, it's not going to be a very popular car for people to buy. Look at that bucket seat. Extra gauges. Somebody probably just drove it too hard and didn't take care of it enough, which is something that you'll get in K cars because they're cheap, and what appeals people to K cars a lot of times in Japan is people who don't want to spend a lot of money on their cars. So it's something to take into consideration. Skylines, like for example an R32 GTR, they're very often kept in very good condition because they're owned by people who very much value the vehicles. Compared to that, this is more of a throwaway type vehicle. As far as price for this one, it's going to be super cheap because it's not in very good condition. So I'd say probably 25,000 yen. And at that price, you're probably only getting it for parts. Oh, and Brandon also, he had something to say about this. He says, Fast and Furious K car. And there's a little bit of a conversation, so I'm going to go through this. He says, Derek, if you pick this one, how well would a K car do in the States where you have some higher speed limits? I would love to have a K car coupe or hatch. And I said coupe like the Americans do. Coupe is the correct pronunciation, I guess. Okay, so how well does it do with speed limits? Well, the one that I owned was the generation before this, and I didn't own it for very long, but I did get it up to highway speeds, and 100 kilometers an hour was not a problem with that car. It does rev really high, though, so if you're going to be driving a lot on the highway, you have to either get used to high revving on the highway, the noise that comes associated with it, or just don't drive on the highway that often. So if I was going to be doing highway kilometers, I would drive something with a bigger engine. These are made for Japan where the speed limit is 80 as a maximum, 80 kilometers an hour. And so, although they're capable of going faster, it's running the car really hard in order to do it. So, I personally, something different. But for daily, if you have another vehicle for highway driving, it'd be perfect. Really good on gas, relatively quick, and really fun to drive. And then Justin Thomas says, I drive a 1991 Suzuki Carry K truck in the States. It's geared ridiculously low, something like 6.8 to 1 ratio on the rear. And it has the aerodynamics of a brick wall. It does okay at 50 to 55 miles an hour. I'll do it a little faster, but it isn't happy as the engine is turning over 6,000 RPM in 5th gear. The cars, on the other hand, are geared much better, have more horsepower, will do better on the highway. My next import will be a Turbo Hatch K or Cappuccino. Okay, so the K trucks are usually like 38 horsepower, whereas this would be 64 horsepower, so there is that. The K trucks are meant for lugging heavy things around, so the gear ratio is going to be way lower. And so K trucks on the highway, I would say, probably don't want to do that. But a car like this will be okay if you don't mind it. And then, oh, there was something else written here, but I forgot to copy it. It was Brandon saying thank you to Justin Thomas for replying to him. Next one, Jose Oval, same person who sent in the RS4, had sent in this one. This is a Subaru Forester, and to be honest, I don't know a lot about this generation. We've bought Foresters of the first 3 generations, but this one is the 4th generation? Oh, I'm going to get that wrong. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, this is called an SH5 Forester. So what we have here is a 2-liter turbo. That would be the EJ20 for this year. It's called a 2.0 XT. It has 5-speed manual plus that turbo EJ20. So it's kind of like a WRX in the SUV or crossover body style. 98, 100 kilometers, but yet it's a 4.5 A-, and so you're looking at a really good car for this high of mileage, so very nice there. Probably hard to find them in 5-speed manual. This one, Jose says, it's a 2008 Subaru Forester turbo and manual transmission. I believe this is the last of this kind. I'd totally buy this in an instant, tied along with a Spec C STI for being my favorite picks. And it looks like it's in complete stock condition, so that's a plus too. Okay, original Aero parts, front, side, rear, and rear spoiler, original 5-speed manual, original HDD Navi, smart key, discharge headlights, reverse camera, wood panels, power seats on the front, and what's this? SI drive? Oh, iDrive is that weird thing where it like looks for other cars or something. I don't know. SI drive? Don't know. Okay, headlights are cloudy, wheel scratch, door mirror scratch, various scratches and dents. Has a medium dent over here, but the body otherwise looks good. Oh, and front bumper has a misaligned part. It's hard to tell if it's the lip or if it's the bumper itself that's misaligned. And so, do watch out for that. I think they made an STI version of this generation, but I'm not sure of that. I know they did the previous one before this one. And yeah, it looks like a good car. Foresters tend to lose a lot of their value over their lifetime because they sell like crazy, and whatever car has high volume on the marketplace is not going to keep a high price for the most part. And so you can get these probably for a pretty good deal. If I were to guess, the 5 speeds will cost more than the autos by a good chunk. But if I were to guess, I would say this one could probably be had for about 360,000 yen. On to the next one from Raymond Yu. And Raymond has something to say here. Look at that. Oh my gosh, blue and wood. I would absolutely not want to own this car. Or I would paint the dashboard with my own vomit. Raymond says, Toyota Townace Noah 4-wheel drive super extra. That blue interior is really super extra. Great family van, comes with 5-speed manual transmission and 4-wheel drive. That might make it worth it, actually. A 5-speed manual. This is the 2.2-liter diesel engine. 4-wheel drive, 5-speed with diesel is super thumbs up. And auction rate 3.5, interior C, exterior D, peeling paint. Scratch on the windshield. U3 dent in the back. Underside corrosion and comes off at hull. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to buy this one. When it says comes off, that means your frame is cracked because of the corrosion, and part of it is dangly. Timing belt was changed at 75, 880 kilometers. I didn't even know you could get these in 5-speed. That's cool. I don't particularly like these cars very much. I think that the exterior looks fairly modern for a vehicle of this age, or of this generation. This is one of the later ones. It's a 1997. But when you actually see the car and drive the car, it feels like, I believe it's a chassis on frame, like a truck chassis underneath, instead of unibody like most minivans are. And so it feels kind of clunky because of that. ABS lamp is on. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing about a car with this note on it. There's a high chance that this car is going to be bought from one of those export companies that buys cars like crazy that are low-grade cars and then don't tell their customers about the condition of the car and then just sell it for a really low price. I could say the name of companies that do this, but I don't want to go around slamming people. If that business model works for them, I mean, the customer is still paying a really low price for the car, and so you can't really complain about it that much, but it just kind of goes against the way that I feel about doing business. You don't want to be telling people about the condition of the car. That's not what they're expecting, and so I think that because there are so many companies like that, the price doesn't actually get discounted that much for a mark like this. You would think that this would lower the price by $1,000 or $2,000 or something like that. But the crazy part is it doesn't, because seeing something like this lowers the competition, so it means the car sells for a lower price, but there's still more than usual competition because some companies will target cars like this simply because they know they can get a heftier markup by not telling their customers about it. So there's a little bit of like push and pull going on there, but it ends up to be not that good of a deal to get a car that has significant damage on it like this one does. Okay, so that blue, oh my gosh. Whew. This car is almost definitely going to go to Africa. I bet you anything. Okay, so price, I would say probably look at 220. Nah, I mean that seems so high to me. But the diesel 5-speed 4-wheel drive is a combination you just don't run into that often, and people are usually willing to pay more for that. And if you live in a climate where rust isn't a problem and you can patch weld a piece on there, maybe worth it to some people. Okay, I'm gonna guess low on this. I'll say 150,000 yen, and I kind of assume it's going to sell for a little bit more, but that'll be my guess this week. Interesting one there, Raymond, for sending that in. Next one, Perry Chapel sent in this one. Oh, and here's the thing. We just put up a Daihatsu Miura walkthrough, which is kind of a similar body shape to this, video onto YouTube. And I had my fingers crossed that we would get Mighty Car Mods to come to our channel and post a comment on it, because, you know, they're doing a series right now on a Daihatsu Miura, but not a walkthrough version. And like everything on their Facebook page is all Miura this, Miura that, but no comments yet from them. And so it does give me a little bit sad face to know that they probably know that that video is up there. A few people have sent it to them, but we don't have a comment from them yet. And so I do still have fingers crossed for a few more days. Anyway, Perry Chapel sent in Mitsubishi Minica Topo, 2-door on one side and one on the other, just like the Hyundai Veloster, and just like our company's car, the Toyota BB open deck. Also has on the driver's side only one door, on the passenger side 2 doors, but our open deck, the rear door opens suicide style. Okay, anyways, I didn't know that about the doors on this car. That is really weird. And look, even the sides look different. Look, the back window is big on this side, and then it's mincy on this side. Really weird. Okay, it's a car I don't know much about. It's a K car. K cars are always really weird. Okay, so it's a Minica Toppo 660cc automatic transmission, auction grade R, with an interior B, 93, 117 kilometers. It comes with AC, power steering, power windows. Body looks to be pretty fair. I would say exterior has some paint fade and paint peeling. I don't know if you can see that. You can see it on the hood here. Yeah. Okay, front inner panel has accident damage that has been repaired. Core support has been replaced. And the tail light is cracked. Otherwise, condition seems to be pretty okay. This was a 94, so it's not quite importable to the U.S. But here's a little trick for you people in Canada. Buy cars that are 1 year away from being legal for the U.S. You can get them for a good price usually, drive them around for a bit, and then sell them to the U.S. when they become legal. But do be careful though, because if you do sell them to the U.S., they need to have the Canadian registration. If you don't ever register the car in Canada, and then sell it to somebody in the U.S., they might have problems at the border. I had a friend just run into that, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. A pain in the butt. Looks like the back door opens sideways. That's cool. I wonder how much storage these have. It is a cool little car. Okay, on to the very last one. It is from Elijah MacDonald. And Elijah sent in this one. I actually translated this for a few people. I remember the winking eye. And he says, winking RX-7. It turns out it's just broken RX-7. With back spoiler and army wheel. And not only is wheel spelled wrong there, but army wheel, I don't understand what that means. Like, what? Don't know. Can't figure it out. If somebody knows what he's talking about, let me know. So it's a 1994 RX-7. Comes with exhaust. Catalyzer is a straight pipe. Air filter, aftermarket air filter, blow-off valve, LSD, suspension, and clutch. Condition's not that good. Huge cracks in the dashboard, underside corrosion. Hood hinge area has been modified, probably to lift it up a little bit in the back there. Water is leaking. Power window doesn't work. Glue, what is this? Rear only 2 rod less. Don't know. Something. That's where you get now. Go down. Left and right rear inner panels are dented, and core support is dented, and paint fade on the roof. A3 scratch on the front. Paint cracks, and paint cracks, and paint cracks, and paint cracks, and A3 here. So it needs some love. quite a bit of love by the look of it, but RX-7s are cars that you want to keep in circulation. And so there's always going to be somebody that wants to take a car like this and put 6 or 8 months worth of work into it and make it into a really nice car. And so for that reason, somebody's going to want to pay at least a reasonable amount of money for this. I would say, since it's a 94, it doesn't have a huge market yet. I would say you could probably get this for the range of about 530,000 yen. That's going to be my guess. And that is going to be the end of this video. So thank you everybody very much for watching these videos, even when I'm sick and putting up with me. If you made it this long in the video, I'm going to give you 2 thumbs up. I'm actually doing it right now, even though you can't see it. There's no video here. That would be kind of fun to do this with a video and a green screen and stuff, but I don't know if I've got enough time to set up something like that. But anyways, that's going to be the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and see you again next week.